Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, my name is Jason Heslet, H-E-S-L-E-P. I am from Montana City. Everyone likes to sit on a high horse. From there, we can look down on our forefathers who bought and sold slaves, slaughtered tribes, robbing, beating, raping, and killing. We can look down on the perpetrators of the Holocaust. Indeed, these things are not things that we should admire. We like to think that if only we were around back then, we would have been champions for the oppressed and done something to stop the carnage. But it is easy to repent of other people's sins. Our own, on the other hand, that is harder to do. And the irony is, our own sin is darker, deeper, bloodier, and the body count far higher, and yet it is oh so cherished and petted and heavily funded. You would have been a champion for the oppressed, you say, and here is your chance to prove it. Here we have something much worse than chattel slavery, and we do nothing. Here we have something much worse than the Holocaust, and we do nothing. Here we have something much worse than all the oil spills and the dying polar bears on the planet, and we do nothing. I do not belittle these things, but how much worse is this one thing? Our forefathers may have sold their fellow men, but we chop them up first and then sell them in little pieces, and we do nothing. Our high horse is a dead horse with no legs. We are sitting on a putrid carcass. We do not have the moral high ground, for we do nothing. But that is not correct. We do not do nothing. On the contrary, we promote these horrors with religious fervor, with clapping and cheering and laughing over fancy meals and fine wine and talk of Lamborghinis and loads of tax dollars. And more babies die, our own babies, by our own hands. We have sold ourselves into terrible bondage, and we call it freedom. I will not try to convince you that a baby is a person. You already know it is. I will not try to convince you that abortion is murder. You know that it is. So the central issue here is not that you do not know. The issue is that you know full well and you do not care. Therefore, the only way to turn from this horror is not to inform or educate, but to straight up repent. To turn from the murder in our hearts, fall off of our high horses to our knees, no, to our faces, teeth in the dirt before Christ, both pro-choice and pro-lifers alike, and beg the King for mercy. He alone can and does give it. I will close with a short psalm. These are the words of God. Why do the nations rage and the peoples plot in vain? The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, Let us burst their bonds apart and cast away their cords from us. He who sits in the heavens laughs. The Lord holds them in derision. Then he will speak to them in his wrath and terrify them in his fury, saying, As for me, I have set my king on Zion, my holy hill. I will tell of the decree. The Lord said to me, You are my son. Today I have begotten you. Ask of me, and I will make the nations your heritage and the ends of the earth your possession. You shall break them with a rod of iron and dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Now therefore, O kings, be wise. Be warned, O rulers of the earth. Serve the king with fear and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry and you perish in the way, for his wrath is quickly kindled. Blessed are all who take refuge in him.